Hi, my name's Charlotte and welcome to this Engender series where each week we'll be covering a different trans-related topic. I think you can separate when you knew you're transgender into three different parts, and that's the realisation of when you're trans, the acceptance of when you're trans, and when you did something about being trans. Now for me, I didn't fit the standard trans narrative of knowing in childhood that there was something different about me or seeing a first sign. For me, I didn't realise something was different about myself until I was going through puberty, and because of the lack of information back then, I couldn't really put my finger on what it was. It wasn't until my late teens and early 20s that I could see potentially what was different about me. I was finding myself drawn to trans-related media, whether it be online articles or trans-related documentaries. I'm not sure whether I was watching these documentaries to see whether I was like these people or to see how different I was from these people. But either way, at that stage I wasn't ready to accept that difference in me. So throughout my 20s I just didn't want to accept or confront the reality that I was transgender. So I bury the dysphoria and those feelings, deep down within myself. And if they ever cropped up, I would, talk myself out of it. So I'd say that I was too tall, my face was too masculine, my body size is all wrong, my voice is too deep, all these things to convince myself that transition wasn't possible for me. Yet despite that, deep down, I also knew that at some point in my life, I'd live my life as a woman. And so I got to my early 30s, and that's when I decided I had to do something about it. I found that I'd been putting off kind of major life decisions because of this. I'd been with my girlfriend for 8 years at this stage, and I knew I'd been putting off any kind of proposal or the subject of having children because I knew deep down I was transgender, and I didn't want to trap or make my girlfriend feel like she was going to be trapped in a relationship. If I'd gone down that path, I'd obviously seen so many other trans people go down the path of marriage and children, hoping that will, put to one side their dysphoria and they can concentrate on their family. As much as they love their family, it doesn't take away those feelings of dysphoria. So I told my girlfriend on Valentine's Day in 2014, which is not a good time to tell anyone, but she's been wonderful and accepting, and we're still together now. So when I decided to do something about being transgender in my early 30s and to transition, I wasn't at rock bottom, nor was I suicidal. If you can take one thing away from this video, it would be that you don't necessarily need to be at rock bottom or to feel suicidal to have to transition. I was proactive in transitioning before I got to that point. I knew that my dysphoria was only getting worse and it wouldn't go away. So I decided that this was the best time for me to do something about it. And when people ask me about transition, I always say to them that I was happy within my life. I love my girlfriend. I'm happy with my business and my house and everything else, but I just wasn't happy within myself, and transition has enabled me to be happy within myself, and that's an amazing feeling. Anyway, that's my personal story. Tomorrow you should be hearing from Natalie, so please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!